Not yet. Not yet. Okay. I'm sure they'll join shortly. Let's start. Let me just make sure that screen is set up. Okay, let's start. Welcome to Tradespoon and Yellow Tunnel. My name is Vlad Karpel. I'm CEO and founder of Tradespoon and Yellow Tunnel. And today we're going to have a live trading room open to trade stock and options using our technology. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. Trading stock and options involve risk, not suitable for everyone. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept it in order to invest in current market conditions. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with FINRA nor SEC. I'm showing you what I do in my own account based on my own risk tolerance level for general education information purposes only. Please consult your financial advisor prior to making any trading decision. Also, should not be assumed that the future trade picks will be profitable or equal past performance. Again, I want to say thank you to all the subscribers. Welcome. For those of you who are new, if this is your first live event, do me a favor, type in first. My morning voice is on. You need coffee. I did not sleep well. It's true. That is true. Okay, more coffee coming up. So I want to say thank you to all the subscribers. Because of you, I'm able to do what I enjoy professionally, managing and trading my own money. I've been doing it for over 15 years, mentoring and teaching subscribers how to trade stock and options. And finally, I have a master's degree in computer science, specializing in statistics and artificial intelligence. Welcome on Discord. Thank you for participating. If you have any questions, please type them. I will make sure to read them. Okay. Pinball? No. Oh, this is Discord sound. That is Discord sound. Bob arrived at 9:20 Florida time. All right, welcome, Bob. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. Trading psychology is very important. It's very important to have a trading plan. I encourage you to have a trading plan and write down all of the rules, right, in terms of cash, number of positions, and position size. And in general, treat trading as business, right? That means you have to have operating agreement, you have to have rules, and you have your daily meetings. You set up goals. So the same way you're doing business, in a corporate environment, trading is no different, right? Every day you have to review your trading plan. You have to write down all your trades in a journal. I propose you grade yourself. Right, self-awareness is extremely important. Right, if I don't get enough sleep, okay, it's very important to recognize that will impact my trading. In terms of, so I document all my trades. Right, I ask you multiple times why I want to get into this trade. I write it down, and then I read it and analyze. Does it make sense? The idea of the economy of control, again, that you only have control over your own thoughts and actions. You don't have control over thoughts and actions of other traders, right, or other people. So what does that mean? That we have a Fed decision, we have ECB decision. You don't, market can rally 5%, market can pull back 5% in the next week or so, couple of weeks, right? So you have to be prepared for both outcomes. So positive and negative visualization. Basically, you look over key support and resistance. Right, most people are bullish right now as earnings season unfolds. So I would look at the key support and resistance level. Right now, 451 would be my first support level, and resistance is 456, right? We tried to break through this several times. Second time so far, unsuccessful. So we're trading between 456 and 451. slightly lower, right? We had earnings season unfolding. Google hit a home run, up 6% pre-market. Microsoft did good earnings, but last time I checked, they were, what are they, down 2%, 3%, 2.5%. So again, kind of mixed picture. Some earnings better than expected, some earnings are not. Boeing hit a solid earnings, up 4%. And we have a Fed decision, right, an ECB decision. So market can quickly break through the resistance to today, right? And the next level would be probably 460, right? Resistance 1, resistance 2, right? 460. Right, so we can reach 460 pretty quickly. And on the other hand, if Fed is hawkish and kind of not indicating that they're pausing, right, and and then inflation may be trending down, but still higher than they would like to see, and maybe the reaction is different this time, right? So we can quickly drop to 451. If we break 451, I think medium support, right, going back to June 18 is your 444, right? That's the previous breakout, support number 2. Right. So 444, it's 10 points, 2%, right? I mean, we could drop 2%, very quickly. So that would be my view on the market. So let's say you're bullish, right, and you want to. Well, first of all, I wouldn't enter new trades before the FOMC decision. I don't think you can predict which way the market is going to go. So I wouldn't enter a new trade, but I would review my current position, right? Let's say, if I propose if you're new to trading and you're still not 100% confident in yourself, you still don't think you're very disciplined, then I would say no more than 4 positions. Maximum loss 2.5% per position. So you review each position. I think it's a flip of a coin, right? We can go to 460. I don't totally can see that. I can totally see us going to 444. So I would, for that reason, I would have 2 bullish positions, 2 bearish positions. Because if you have all 4 bullish and the market sells off, well, you might be down more than 10%. Especially if it happens quickly, or if you bearish all 4 positions and market rallies, 1 or 2%, then you could be down more than 10%. If you have 4 positions, 2.5%. So for that reason, I would say 2 bullish, 2 bearish, right? If it goes up, you can close your bullish position and decide what to do with bearish, and vice versa. But at least you're limited on the exposure to the market. So based on these levels. So in terms of position size, I mean, 451, that's, that could happen right after conference starts, 1 p.m. Central, I think, or 2 p.m. Eastern. Conference starts, I think, a little bit later, 1:15, but the initial announcement. So support 2, right? So support 2 would be at least, we're talking about a few weeks, right? So if as long as we're staying above 444, I would be bullish on the market, right? There's no reason to be bearish. You have a strong uptrend that continues and hasn't been broken yet. So 444, that's what? If let's say you have a position right now at 454, 444, it's 10 points, right? Right, so that's your stop loss, 10 points. And I would not risk, personally, I propose not to risk more than $250 on $10,000 account. So if you have a $10,000 account, I would not risk more than 2.5%. $20,000, $500. $5,000, $125. So 250 divided by 10, 25 shares. Okay. If I have 25 shares right now, I think it's fine. Right? Then we just have to wait and see what happens. If I have 50 shares, maybe it makes sense to downsize this position going into the FOMC decision. Right? So I would review my bullish position, same analogy, I would review bearish positions and make a decision. Right? If you don't like to make a decision in weeks, right? If you think in months, then this trend, right? This This is the trend since October, positive channel, right? We talked about this. I mean, even if we break support number 2, I still think bulls are in control. But support number 3, that's kind of a long-term support, and that's kind of a make or break scenario. So I would look at that. Any questions? All right. Bill, thank you. Okay. Hopefully you don't have to go to these extremes. Fred, good morning. All right. Okay. Meanwhile, we do have earnings season. Let's not forget about earnings season. We do have several companies, right? Microsoft. I mean, pretty good, decent earnings turn into positive growth. Maybe a little deceleration in the cloud computing. Stock was up. I mean, it was fluctuating between up and down. I think right now it's down 3%, 341. So 50-day moving average, right? So for now, I wouldn't be too concerned. But if we drop below 50-day moving average, like 330, but we're still pretty far from that. I mean, obviously, sell-off can accelerate after the FOMC meeting, or vice versa, right? Or bulls can step in and drive the stock high, because this is one of the leader of AI theme, right? It's NVIDIA and Microsoft. Microsoft came out and said, this is how we're gonna monetize AI. We're gonna double the subscription. And then Google is the opposite. I think it's doing more of a catch-up trade. It's not like Google earnings were so much better than Microsoft earnings. It's just because it's still, if Microsoft is above its all-time positive, pay-per-click, surprisingly, I thought the risk is to the downside, but it is up 6%, 6.5% pre-market. It was as high as almost 8% pre-market. So I would watch Google. We do have a position. I didn't do puts because I was concerned the risk is to the downside. So let's just watch that position and make a decision. So I have, again, I would close before the FOMC meeting. I would close both positions. So I did Google just a call spread, sold the 137 call. Google is at 130 still, 4 or 5% away from the call. And then I did say sell put and call on AT&T. And AT&T been kind of flat. So let's review the positions and put orders. So Google, let's see. It's actually profitable, but let's try to close Google position. Buy to close. Let's do 10 cents. Okay. Trying to close Google for 10 cents and AT&T. Let's see. AT&T. It doesn't look like it's trading, so I can close for 2 cents. The put and 2 cents call. It doesn't look like it has a bid yet. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's trading. AT&T. Okay, so that's an example, again, doing earnings strategy and selling out of the money puts and calls, right? Collecting premium, and now I'm trying to close the Google and AT&T. Let's see, Google, let's convert to 5 minutes. So Google kind of struggling. Let's see. To continue going higher, let's see if it pulls back. Yeah, looks like I'm out of all 2 and 1. Yeah, looks like I'm out of all the positions. Okay, that's good. So yeah, AT&T closed for 2 cents and 1 cent. Again, after FOMC, I mean, you could have large swings, so it doesn't make sense to take the risk. And then Google is, I'm out at 10 cents. Okay. So that's the Google, kind of struggling to continue to run. Texas Instrument is down 5%, so 176. So I do have to monitor Texas. I didn't do it in trading block, Yellow Tunnel, right? Earnings. I didn't do it in the earnings platform. Down is 175. See 834. So Texas Instruments is down 5%, Netflix down 1, Tesla's down 1, Visa is down 1, Snap is down 20%, Cadillac is up 10%, and Boeing up 5%. AT&T turning negative, Visa. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Just looking over my other positions. So I'm watching Texas Instrument. Any questions so far? Scott, get together to discuss market movement. Just curious. I mean, I don't talk to Scott that often to discuss market movements. Not that often. Is Scott bullish on the market, bearish? I don't know what he is right now. Google bull spread 126, so I should close before Powell speak to 30 last meeting. Yeah, Kevin. I mean, if you have bullish spread, and especially if you're making money, I would, be careful, right? Because it can swing. You can have large price fluctuations, especially if it's a short-dated options. Then I would consider, closing your position. John Xpap, very nice. TLT and JP Morgan charts, please. Okay, let's talk about TLT and JP Morgan. So both are kind of the elephant in the room, right? They're very sensitive to interest rates. Let's talk about 30-year yield. TLT mostly impacted by 30-year and 20-year bonds. So, I mean, you do have a pretty strong overhead resistance when it comes to the 30-year bond. Right? I mean, we broke briefly this false breakout, but this is multi-months, since December, overhead resistance. We do have kind of ascending triangle, right? So, I mean, I think there are two reactions, right? One is still overshooting, but I would still think it's a false breakout. I mean, obviously, I could be wrong, and interest rates continue going higher. Right? In the normal bull market, 10-year and 30-year should rise, right? And 2-year and 5-year should sell, right? Have a normal yield curve. Right, we don't have that because inflation is still persistently higher than the Fed wants. And there's still fear of recession, right? I mean, maybe we're not going to have, everybody thought we're going to have a recession this year, so now everybody talks that recession is going to be next year, right? As long as the rates are high, at some point we'll have some kind of level of recession. So that's why the yield is inverted. So I think, because it's a pretty big sell-off to the 200-day moving average, the top is set, right, in yield. Right, the top is set, that means TLT, the path of least resistance for TLT to go higher. So I think TLT, it's kind of inverse trade, right? TLT is, the line in the sand is this, right? We've been dancing around 104 level for quite some time. Pretty bearish price pattern. We're still below 200-day moving average. We're still below 50-day moving average. So I think TLT, I mean, it's either going to do this, right? I think that's scenario number one. Scenario number two, it's going to do this, based on Powell's speech. But I still think that the lows is set, and we're not going to break the lows. Because inflation is stubbornly high, interest rate, they're not going to lower the interest rate this year. And who knows, maybe even early next year, they're not going to lower interest rate. That means higher for longer, right? And, let's see how's KRE doing. Because we already have PacWest, getting absorbed by California Bank. So we still have issues with regional banks. And, today KRE is obviously, it was down yesterday significantly. Now it's breaking out again to the upside. So, and then I assume JP Morgan is the same. But, it was kind of elevator down yesterday and now kind of elevator up. So, because I guess government is not involved, so everybody take it as a positive news. So JP Morgan, it's at, is it at all-time high? Let me see. It's approaching all-time high. So again, after Fed meeting, JP Morgan is extremely sensitive to interest rate. It could be at 170, right? It could retest the all-time highs because it's not that far away, or it can pull back, to 144. So it could move up 10 points, or it could move down 10 points. Not in one day, but next move, right? Next move. But so far, as long as it's above 145, the passive list resistance is to continue going higher. Spiders and QQQ are down. Let's see, Spiders slightly down, QQQ slightly down, IWM actually up, right? Again, regional banks and banks in general. But they're very sensitive to interest rates, so we'll see what happens after the decision. Any other question? Thank you, Kevin. ABC played twice. John, thank you for 93 cents. John, SMH thoughts long-term, 18 months. I think, market is overbought. It should pull back, but I don't think it's going to be, we could have significant pullback. So 18 months, I think SMH is probably going to pull back and then continue going higher. Right. So how much is going to pull back? It just depends on recession. But eventually we'll break this level. I just don't think it's going to happen now, right? Maybe November, December, right? So we'll probably pull back and then higher into 24. So that's my core scenario. And again, I would probably not chase semiconductors as long as we did not break this level. So as long as we don't break this level, very little room to the upside, meaningful room to the downside. So I would hedge. If you have exposure to SMH, then I would hedge. All right, let's go back to the earnings. Okay, so AT&T we're done. I have to figure out Boeing because it continues to go higher. 5 minutes, let's see. And Texas Instruments. Okay, so 5 point pausing, it's a rally to 28. And Texas Instruments is rebounding. Texas Instruments kind of trying to decide the next move, maybe in the middle of the session, and then Boeing is up 6%. Google is up 6%. Teladoc is up 15%. And Snap is down 20%. Again, we'll see Meta. How's Meta doing into the earnings tonight? I mean, Google had a decent earnings, so Meta was up. It seems like not everybody's impacted the same way. So we did have a rally, pull back. Now rally continues on the Google earnings. That's good. See Texas Instruments. Trading has been slow lately. Any questions so far? Just watching Texas Instrument. Microsoft down 3%, Google is up 7%, AT&T down 1%, Visa is down 60 basis points. It's like Netflix is breaking down. So Netflix is sitting at the 50-day moving average. I would watch Netflix chart. Same thing with Tesla. No, it doesn't look like buyers are stepping in. Okay. Let's review the rest of the. Let's see, do you have any other questions? Dark. Okay, thank you, John. So he's more chartist. Yeah, I mean, there are different philosophies, right? Some people look at charts only. Some people look at macroeconomics. Some people look at the fundamentals. Some people look at all three. So yeah, there's different types of approaches to. Yeah, if you just look at the trends, obviously, you know, probably should have been bullish since, you know, May at least, or April. But okay, let's look at other positions. Thank you, Bob. All right, so AT&T, I'm out. Google, I'm out. So that was good. General Motors, I'm out. So it looks like earnings strategy works so far. IWM, KRE, I'm bearish, right? I'm bearish on IWM, KRE, and XLF. So, I mean, today it's gonna be an important week, right? We can see IWM, it's facing a lot of overhead resistance. It's not going anywhere. KRE is breaking out, so I have to make it. I mean, after the FOMC, I'll make a decision because it continues to go higher, even though that was backwest. Surprise, such a different reaction to the, yeah, so see, it was elevated down, 25% down, and recover all the losses. I mean, I guess people were afraid that this is systemic and government has to get involved, but since it got acquired, but still doesn't make too much sense, right? Like, why, you know, they had decent earnings, why are you know, why are you selling the company? But okay, emerging equity, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. You know, is this just PacWest, or, you know, are there more regional banks that have to, you know, raise capital? Okay. TAD, SMCI, chip stock. Is it AI chip stock? I mean, very strong bullish uptrend. Earnings is in a few days, right? August 8th. Pretty strong earnings. So, but again, I mean, there's individual exceptions like NXPI. I don't know what SMCI is exposed to. Let's see. But there are themes, right? NXPI is up because it has a lot of exposure to automotives, and, you know, there's not enough new cars out there, and people are buying them. So this is, let's see, manufacturing finish solution, GPU coprocessor. Okay, so this is all going to the cloud computing, right? Cloud computing. So SMCI looks very similar to NVIDIA, right? GPU, fast processors, you know, billions of calculations. So they both look the same. It depends on the earnings on top of the AI revolution, and stock is down. I mean, tomorrow it could be up, you know, but the bar is set very high, and, you know, anything that you say that is negative, right? Like cloud computing is slowing down, right, or something like that, right? Their margins are slowing down, you know, and stock is down, right? So it's, Google has been underperforming, so I think that's the reason. If Google was at 52-week high, it probably would have been down. But because it still has a catch-up, people are rotating, right? They're rotating. So it's very hard to predict what would be the outcome of the earnings. My point of view, if the bar is set high, you probably don't want to chase it, right? If the bar is set low and Google still has a catch-up, or JP Morgan still has a catch-up, and these are good companies, okay, then, you know, then you could be bullish on those companies. What can I out? Fred, IWM is scary. Regional banks, right? We had pretty sharp pullback yesterday on PacWest news. Today, kind of a reversal, right? And actually up, right? We went from 46 to 48, right? So 5%, 5% up, 5% down. You know, 10% move in 24 hours. So that's probably the main reason why Russell 2000 is up. Not sure how involved. Yeah, I know it's pretty AI involved, right? Because this GPU, right? Super server, storage, chassis. This is, this is NVIDIA type of company. I mean, there's different processors. One is for EVs, one is for regulars, one is for the servers, one is for this GPU fast processors. But this is similar to NVIDIA. I mean, it's obviously a little smaller company, right? Only 16 billion company, where NVIDIA is a $1 trillion company, but you get the point. All right, Texas Instruments is still same level. All right, so hold on, let me see Texas Instrument, 5 minutes. Any other questions? All right, so I actually was able to close Texas Instrument. So my Texas Instrument, the only thing I have is Boeing. So Boeing, if you're following last night, 232. So it did pull back. Let's see, 15 minutes. All right. Gary H. Trade. Thank you, Fred. I mean, Gary dropped below 40. It may, a lot of it, yes. A lot of it will depend on interest rates and these regional banks acquisitions, right? So it's very sensitive to interest rate. We'll see. I mean, there's two decisions. One is the FOMC today, then ECB tomorrow, right? And then differential, because I think there's still the elephant in the room is dollar, right? Dollar kind of had a pretty impressive, it did pull back, but look at daily chart. It looks like it's rolling over, right? So that's also very sensitive to interest rate. So are we going back to 100, or are we going back to 103 or 104? we go back to 100, then the market will rally. If we go and KRE will rally. If we're going back to 103, 104, then market will pull back. Next couple of days. SOUN, thank you, Bob. Cool. Any earnings trades matter? There are a few ones I would, I'm going to do the analysis, but I would not do anything until the FOMC decision, right? What do we have tomorrow? Do we have anything else? And then we have ECB, because I think, or maybe even skip altogether, because I think volatility will pick up, right? You have FCB, FOMC, then you have ECB decision tomorrow. GDP, right? Advanced GDP report for Q2, right? Expectation is at 2%. So volatility can pick up. Is there a way to talk about direction? Maybe move up to go on. Is there no signal for wide range? No. Yeah, Visa. Why did she pull back sharply? And then it did recover. Wow, 10 points, 3-4%. So it is wide range, right? Visa is again one of the beneficiary, one of the darlings of this rally from October. It went up by whatever 60-70%. Looks like consumer is slowing down. I haven't had very home runs in credit cards for us. We see the same pattern in American Express, Discovery. How's the Capital One doing? So it looks like expectations are set very high, and credit cards are, at least for now, pausing, right? Pausing or pulling back, kind of building the top. So again, until these tops are broken, I think the risk is to the downside, right? So, but Visa is usually very volatile in general. So, you could expect these large movements. Any other questions? So in terms of earnings today, let's see which one is the most interesting. Wednesday after close. Nothing interesting. How's UNP? I think UNP. Railroads, I think, been under pressure. UNP actually did really good, but they had negative earnings. Pretty sharp rally in UNP. Up 11%. So that's boosting railroads. Let's see if point. LRCX is after hours. Okay, so Meta. I mean, after Google earnings, it did pull back. I mean, most people, I think, were concerned about state of the economy and how much companies are spending on advertising, but Google hit a home run. So Meta is recovering. Meta is next. It's a $300 stock. Again, I would probably not do it if you have $10,000 or $20,000 account. If you have $30,000 account, it makes sense, right? Because again, if I'm off by 1 or 2%, that's $600. So it has to be less than 2.5%. That's usually how I think about it. What else? Tomorrow morning, is there something before market opens? Yeah, we have to analyze. I don't see anything that's liquid and within the range of $100. So we'll see, maybe take a break. Or LUV. Let's see. LUV looks like all the airlines already announced earnings. Looks like they're rolling over. So LUV could be a $35 stock, pretty liquid. So maybe a Southwest Airlines. All right, so, Walmart. Why did I miss Walmart? So if you want to hedge, okay, so just to finish up, if you want to hedge your position, either SH or TLT, we talked about that. And then Walmart. I still have the position in Walmart. I closed half of it. Looks like it's struggling to break through all-time high. But we'll see. I mean, it could be a, if this is a confirmed breakout, then Walmart will continue going higher into the earnings season. Consumer staples, XLP, the same pattern, right? It has, looks like clean breakout above 75, consolidating, and probably another leg up. So that's Walmart and XLP. I'm bullish on both of these positions. Plains always crowded. Gate. NIO is up. Yeah. Very crowded in LEV. Yeah, NIO continues to go higher. I think one of the Chinese stocks in general continues to go higher on a stimulus stock, right? So let's see, FXI. I mean, it's facing overhead resistance, but it's kind of fluctuating. We get macroeconomic data. Stock, China is down because they're still underperforming. But every time there is a talk about boosting the economy, and you see Alibaba is up, right? So that's China. Let's see what else. What stands out today? Materials are down. Industrials continue to go higher. Transportation is up on UNP. Right? It's a big rally in transportation sector. QQQ down, semis are down. Value spiders, flat. XLF is flat. KRE, right? Big move in KRE. And that's about it. Teledoc 20%, Microsoft down 3%, Google is flat at 6%. 2 minutes left. So Boeing, what's going on with Boeing? Looks like it tries to continue to go higher. Okay. So I'm out of Boeing calls, small loss. Okay. Discord, guys, thank you very much for participating. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. All right. On YouTube, thank you for participating. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Scott will do the closing bell. All eyes are on FOMC and interest rates. Thank you.